Stat. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, man. I really busted my balls to get you this. Now don't let me down, man. Oh yeah, that's good. Cool. Now if you excuse me. Now, ma'am, about those $40.
Many months later.
I'm still in the run. This is Disney Channel. Man, my check better clear. I know that. Direct deposit. That direct deposit better been hit. All right. By the time I leave this set, that direct deposit better be.
So addressing the first question viewers will have, what is Bluelock? Simply put, Bluelock is a top-of-the-line training facility with the purpose of training the best striker in Japan. Each striker is placed on a team based on rank, and each player's rank is subject to change based on their performance in their games and their individuality as a whole. You heard me right. The players are on teams, but are actively encouraged to do whatever their ego leads them to do. Once it was stated that everyone had the same position and basically the same goal, I instantly felt like this would make the show boring. But the way the show keeps this concept fresh and entertaining is by every player having their own weapon. Some of the more impressive players have something referred to as a monster inside of them. It usually manifests during an intense game or practice session. And basically what it is a representation of the player's drive to win as well as their ego. The monster, in most cases, guides the players to perform plays and techniques in the match to allow them to achieve a goal and ideally victory. A good reference is like the undying wheel bullets from Hitman Reborn or Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super. An example of this is Bachira's dribbling and passing skills. When the monster starts to manifest, his body basically goes into autopilot. And it allows him to get past the defenders and also allows him to pass the ball to his team with pinpoint accuracy. The structure of the anime is set up like a class in shonen tournament arc, with brackets and rankings to indicate the growth and potential for each team and of each striker. The interesting art style reminded me of Drifters and Hellsing. I was like, damn, this look just like Drifters, and it looked just like Hellsing. But surprisingly, this show isn't made by the creator of those animes. And also, Chigiri isn't a girl. For an anime based around teamwork, you don't really learn much about Isuke's teammates. Although it's apparent that they'll be more fleshed out in the next part. Some standout characters are Baro, Bachira, Nagi, Chigiri, and the mysterious Ren teased at the end of the core. Notice how I haven't really talked much about the main character, Isuke. And that's because I really don't fuck with him like that. He ain't really a favorite of mine. Outside of playing soccer, he a pretty average guy. And on top of being pretty passive, he also not that confident in his own abilities. Now, he does start to grow a little bit later on through the episodes. He started to get a little more comfortable with his weapon. And he starts to develop more. Then he started to get a little more confidence. But it takes a couple episodes to get to that point. Now, speaking of his weapon, even as a concept, it's pretty interesting. He has a skill called spatial awareness. And how it works is pretty impressive. Basically, he got the whole soccer field in his domain. Think about Code Geass in the beginning episodes when Lelouch is commanding the Black Knights on the battlefield. Yeah, like that. While in his domain, Isuke can basically smell a spot where a soccer ball will go, allowing him to score. I know this sounds pretty overpowered, but the show balances this by driving the point home that Isuke needs his teammates. He relies on them. He needs them to get him the ball and to get past defenders. What I liked about this power is the more teamwork he utilizes when smelling, the more effective the power will be. Now some of the pros. The final scoring shot of every match is worth watching the episode for. I'm talking about if you start watching the match, please finish the match out to the end. The monster concept is interesting and every game is better than the last, and that's saying a lot because of such a strong start that the show has. And ego will keep your attention if you feel the show is lacking the character with presence. Now for some of the cons. It's kind of formulaic at the beginning and not that many twists, at least not the first part. More violence and grittiness would have also helped this show. Maybe even death penalties. They could have made this shit like Squid Games, and it would have. Now, it ain't had to go as far as be Squid Game, like maybe Saw or something like that. It would have been a little more interesting. Like we see the losers leave, but we don't know what happened to them, man. Like I want to see them like, you know, some type of penalty setup. Outside of Easy using a monster, he's pretty much a wimp. And it would be interesting to see him develop into a more ruthless player later on. And the bromance field of the show. Matter of fact, there's only one recurring female character in the whole show. This could have been remedied by Easy Skill's friends, you know, pulling their phones out, calling their girlfriend side piece cougar or something, you know. Now overall, this is one of the most interesting shows in years. And a few episodes of the next part I've seen made me really enjoy the show as a whole even more. So for Bluelock Core 1, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. The show isn't a must watch at first, but it does improve with each episode.
Hey.